Okay, this is week 6 of our pottery videos for the adults, and we're going to make a garden gnome or a gonk this week. Again, I've probably said at some point in the videos, I'm making this in quite a small scale today. If that's the only thing that you want to make out of the 6 weeks, then obviously you'll have more clay and you can make it in a bigger scale. So starting off, I'm going to do a basic pinch pot for the body. Okay, and this is some of the clay that I've recycled, so I'm just wanting to make sure that I give this a good old fashioned, make sure that I get as much air out of this as I can. So I'm flapping it to make it more compact and firmer. Okay. So if you've had a bad day, this is quite a good one to take your frustrations out on. Okay, and then I'm just going to go in, pushing my thumb in but not all the way through. And I'm just going to start to pinch out between my thumb and my hand, and turning it in this hand as I'm doing it, just to keep it all nice and even. Again, for the purpose of these videos, I'm just working quite quickly, so I would expect you to spend more time doing this just to make sure you can really feel between your fingers if you're getting air bubbles in here. Okay, and as it gets wider and a bit more hard to handle one hand, I'm just going to go in and do a kind of scooping motion now, just pressing that. Just thinning out the walls of the clay. Okay. Now, this is quite thick and chunky. I want it to be quite heavy because if it's going in the garden, I don't want it to blow over. So again, it's worth going over with your needle just to make sure there's no trapped air in there. So I'm just pressing through, especially any thick bits. And that's going to be the body. I'm going to do another pinch pot, but this time before I start to open it out, I'm going to just working at one end of this. I'm going to start to do the kind of cone shape for the hat. Bash it, or you can roll it off the table. So I'm just forming a kind of cone shape. Whatever you find easy. Okay, so I've got my kind of cone shape. And I'm just flattening this out and making this base a wee bit wider. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to press in and pinch out. So just want to kind of check that for fit as well. And then I'm going to now pinch along the bottom of this just to flare it out a bit. Okay, so that's the kind of shape I'm going for there. You also need to make sure that that's a wee bit more hollow in there. So you can just scoop some of that out. Or like stick end of a paintbrush or something in there just to hollow that out a bit more. Again, with that, in with my needle, just putting air holes, making sure there's no trapped air. Before I join these parts on. What I'm also going to do as well is just make a wee dent here. I'll turn it round towards me. Where my nose is going to be, I'm just going to push my knuckle under and put my hands, my other fingers either side, just to create that wee lip. And I'll just take that off and set it aside just now. So for the nose, just a wee ball of clay. And then I'm just squishing it a wee bit into like a more kind of teardrop shape. I'm just flattening it a wee bit on this side where I'm going to join it. So again, I can use my serrated edge kidney or my knife or a fork or whatever just to score where I'm going to stick the nose on. And I also want to score that side as well. Good dollop of slip on both sides. And then I'm going to put my finger in here to support where I'm sticking this on, just to give it something for leverage against it. Okay, so that's my nose stuck on, and I'm going to just score all round it into this pinch pot to stick the hat on. And I'm scoring in here, just to line it in. Again, I'm just doing this very roughly and very quickly for the sake of the video, but obviously you can spend some more time getting the clay nice and smooth, get a better finish on it. So again, I'm putting lots of slip on, nice and thick with that. I'm just going to score this bit as well where the nose is just going to join onto. And just push it down. Okay, I'm just going to gently pick that up. And just with my paintbrush, just go around and make sure that that's all joined in. I don't want any rough bits. because remember they'll become sharp once they're fired. Just making sure I've got a nice finish on it. Okay, I'm just going to pop this one aside just now and I'll show you how I made the beard. So I'm just going to take a piece of clay. Flatten it out a bit. Okay, I'm using a ruler, but again you can use the flat side of your serrated edge kidney that's in your toolbox, a ruler or like a store card, credit card, that kind of thing that you're... And I'm just going to pull this across the clay and just keep doing it. Until it builds up along the back of it, and then I'm just going to take my knife and cut that off. Put that to one side. So I'm going to make quite a few of these. Another way you could do it is actually just to draw in the texture with your serrated edge, but this is sort of quite a good effect to do this way. And again, some of these things just take a bit of practice. If you don't get it first go, just scrunch your clay back up again and just try again. So that should be enough to work with just now. Okay, so serrated edge, or your knife or whatever you're using. Lots of slip. You could even just put on lots of chunky slip to build up like a kind of texture of a beard as well, but I'm just going to start to lay these wee bits I've made just onto that slip. Again, I'm just popping these on just now, but you can score the back of these as well before you stick them on. Okay, and so you get the texture. I'll just pop that down. Now, to be honest with these, you can go as simple or as much detail as you want. You can see this one that I've already made. I've put some hands and some feet onto it. I'll show you how to do that, but again, you can have it, you know, just like this, if that's as far as you want to take it. if you're just doing, you know, you're not that advanced. What I would do is let this dry a little bit. This clay is quite sticky, and then I would give everything either with your sponge or your rubber kidney or just with your fingers. Once it's a bit more leather hard, then you can just give that a good tidy up and get rid of any finger marks or rough wee cracks or anything like that. So I'm going to pop this to one side just now, and I'll just show you how I've done the arms and legs. So for the feet, really simple, just 2 balls of clay. And again, I kind of pinch them at one end just to make them into sort of almost of a more of a teardrop sort of shape. And then I'm actually going to pinch down to flatten this a wee bit as well. Again, if you wanted to make it more detailed, you quite like modelling, you could do a wee pair of boots or something like that, but they don't need to have much detail in them, so that's how it works. And just squish those down a wee bit. Okay, again, I would be scoring, cross hatching and sticking these on. And once you decide where they're going, let's sweep this out. Okay, so once it's scored and slipped and float, you want to just tidy it all up at the bottom as well underneath. Stick that other one on a wee bit later, but I'm also going to take out the excess clay that I don't need here, and of course we need an opening, otherwise the whole thing would blow up because the air would all be trapped inside. Okay. And for the arms, I just want to roll some coils. So again, I kind of start with a ball and then just roll it into a coil. So I'm just bashing down at one end. So I'm going to make kind of sleeve, but what I'm going to do is just push my thumb in there. Okay, just to open that out a little bit. And that is going to be like the sleeves of this tunic, and we're going to just put the little hands in there. And hands, balls of clay. And I'm just going to cut a wee slice to make a thumb. And I'm just squishing the rest of it out for the fingers. Again, depending on yourself, you can spend more time modelling and getting some detail into that. You can use your tools. Just find out what your tools can do. And with nails, just be pressing those edges in. And you're just going to sit inside the sleeves. Again, I would just score in there. lots of slip, and then you can just stick your wee hands inside. Okay, and again you would just score it and slip that on. You can have it holding like a flower or something, whatever you want to do. And again, I've put a wee flower on this one just using a little icing cutter. Again, you could draw it freehand into the clay and cut it out as well if you want, or just put some pattern on these. So you can add some ears or things on. If you want to make it for Easter, you could add on some bunny ears, so you can just add on any additions that you want or keep it as simple as you want. Again, just make sure that you've got your name probably in the base of it or under the hat or somewhere is a good place to put it where you don't see it.